Welcome back to another episode of Online Learning with Miss Giddings. In this lesson, we are going to be continuing on with our crime and punishment, and we are looking at why was a police force set up in the 19th century. So in this lesson, we are going to identify why there was increasing pressure for a police force, explain the need to introduce a police force, and you should be able to, at the end and for the beginning of the next lesson, assess the views given of the actual police force. So, first thing, how was policing enforced before 1829? During the 1700s, old methods of policing continued, much as they had done for centuries beforehand. Constables and watchmen were still appointed in villages and towns, watching over and making sure there was no crime being committed. Some of them were efficient, but many did not have enough time or support to be effective. After all, they had full-time jobs too. Their job alone was not to stop crime. They were working as, they could have been tradesmen, carpenters, anything else, plus on their time off, they would be sorting out crime. Now, there was great opposition to the idea of an actual police force, of a police force being set up. Number one, people feared the cost. There would be a huge cost of setting up a police force, whereas constables and watchmen would have done it voluntarily. They would actually have to pay people to be police. They feared the invasion of privacy. People were worried that these new policemen would be able to just walk into their lives and check out everything that they're doing. They could just walk into your house if they thought that you were going to commit a crime and go through all your belongings. They thought it might be used by the government to limit freedom. Just like with the invasion of privacy, they thought that the police would then tell you where you can go, where you cannot go, what you can do, what you cannot do. So they're really worried about limiting of freedom. They also just thought it wouldn't work. They didn't have a police force before. And there was still crime. Why would having a police force stop crime? Now, what I just want you to have a think about is, why do you think the majority of the population had all these thoughts? Why do you think these four thoughts proliferated throughout society? Okay, so obviously a police force was set up. It was set up by this man, okay? His name, Robert Peel. What was his job? He was Home Secretary in 1822, so he was part of the Victorian government. What did he have? What was his beliefs? He thought the police were needed and set up a day patrol of Bow Street runners in London. So these were a group of people that would go around Bow Street, stopping crime, seeing if there's any crime being committed and try and stop it. What are his victories then? So he set it up in 1829. What were his short-term victories? He set up the Metropolitan Police in 1829. 3,200 men were recruited to police a 7-mile circle starting at the centre of London. Now, what I just want you to have a think about is, what are the problems with, number one, setting up a Metropolitan Police in 1829, and what are the limits of 3,200 men to police a 7-mile radius in the centre of London? There are a few issues there. I want to see if you're able to pick them up. If you can, write these in your notes so that I can check and see if you understand it. Now what we need to do is we need to see actually why he was able to set up, what the reasons were. So I'm going to go through what these were, and then you are going to complete an activity for me. So why was he able to set up the first police force in London in 1829? Well, the first reason was government and taxation. Increased crime and increased fear of crime. There's a fear of protest. And then, of course, London. So using the information in the content section, it'll be underneath this video, complete your mind map about the setting up of the police force. You have 4 different sections. I would like you to read through. There's a couple of extra information on there as well that you can use, but you need to write down the key information for government taxation, increased crime and increased fear of crime, fear of protest, and London. So that was just a very quick overview of how a police force was set up. What I need you to do is click onto your handouts page and complete the work set by your teacher. Any issues, please email your teacher just like normal. So this was a quick overview of the setting up of the police force in 1829 by Robert Peel. Thank you.